In this video today, I'm going to show you how I install these chunky floating shelves and built these ALCOVE units. I have shown you in previous videos, which I'll link down below, in how I make the chunky shelves and also the shaker doors. Also, there's a brand new intro coming, so check it out and let me know in the comments down below also what you think of it. Let's get started. Is just going to cut this carpet back because the client's having some new carpet put in. I'm also going to take the skirting board off the back here because we blocked the doorway on the other side of the room. I'm going to use this to piece it in so we get an exact match. Afterwards, I will just put some MDF around there just to cover up the bare plasterwork. Then we'll get some lines on the wall for the shelf that's going midway, and also for the work surface, which is a natural oak top that's been finished in Rubio. So we'll just go ahead and get that all done now. I've just fitted a batten on the wall for the shelf and also for the top. Now I like using these grey and red raw plugs from Fisher. They are a lot more expensive than standard plugs, but they hold so much better. And I also currently using these gold screws from Screw Tight. One thing I do believe in is don't skimp on your fixings because it's just one of those false economies. So the next job now will be to get the face frame in place. I'll have to scribe it into the split skirting board on the right hand side here because I forgot my multi-tool. So we'll get that in place and then we'll get the shelf cut to size, drop that in, and then we'll also then get the top fitted. So that's the next little stage. The shelf's in, face frame's fitted. When I make the face frame, I do make it about 15-20mm too big on either side, which allows you just to scribe it into the wall on both sides. The shelf is just resting on the battens in case we need to move it for whatever reason. I did actually do a little cutout in this back corner of the battens and of the shelf because we need to get the lights up to the LEDs, and I'm also going to put a little backing on so in future if the client decides that they would like to put some extra electrical items up there, the wires can be fished through and plugged into the socket that's down here. So next job, I'm just going to cut the oak top to size. As I've used these little picnic or modesty blocks, which is the little plastic blocks which have 2 screws one side, 1 screw the other side, and this will be the way that I actually fix the worktop down into place. Top's on, and I've put the battens on the wall. Now I've shown you in a previous video how I make my chunky floating shelves, so now I'm just going to show you how I actually fix them to the alcoves. So because we had a gap of 18mm in between the chunky shelves on this particular thing, I've done some strips for 18mm on the table saw, plugged and screwed to the wall, bit of grip fill as well, just for a bit of extra security. Then what I'll do is I'll put a little bead of grip fill on the wall above and below the battens and slide the shelves and wiggle them into place. They'd actually just have to whip it back out and just take an extra couple of mil off this side because it was a little bit too tight for it getting in place. Now for the bottom shelf, I've also taken a nick out the back corner just to allow this wire to pass through freely. We have 2 shelves have been wiggled into place. A lot easier if there's 2 of you, with it being so tight. I'll just connect up the LEDs, strip lights later, because I've got another set of alcoves to do on the other side of the chimney, and then get the doors on. So let's get all that done and get it finished. LEDs, I've routed out a 19mm channel into the shelf, and then these little channels clip into place. The LEDs then stick in place with the diffuser over the top. Now the LEDs came from LED Lighting, I'll leave the link again down below, and they just come with these red and black wires, and then you get a power supply obviously all depending on how many lights, what lighting you've got. And then also you get a little receiver, and I also have a little remote for turning the lights on and off. So all I need to do now is just extend these wires slightly. So I'll solder some more cable onto the ends. A little bit of confusion on the order. Normally they would supply these with whatever length you asked for, and for some reason I just got the 1 metre standard. That was never on my part. So they did very kindly send me out some more wire. So I say I'm just going to solder on some tails. Everything's going to get plugged in down below in this alcove, and I need to get the wires from the other alcove, which is over there, all the way around the fireplace and also into this cupboard. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done first. The transformer and the receiver for the remote is down here and plugged in just off the alcove. The remote just literally on. You can change the brightness, you can change the colour intensity, and obviously just off to switch it off. Brilliant little LED lights these for in style. Next what I'll do is I'm going to put some battens on the wall and face it with some MDF. This will create a void for being able to put other lighting and HDMI cables, etc. down the back afterwards. Okay, so backboards are on. They're going to be papered to decorators in next week, I believe. Next job is to fit all the doors. Now, I actually do the hinge cutouts prior to spraying them. Obviously these were all sprayed in the workshop. I actually use this little jig from Craig for doing all the hinges. I found it really good, to be honest. But now I'm actually doing a lot of shaker doors and other types of doors. I'm going to invest in the Blunt Eco Drill because it is quite an expensive item. One thing I have noticed, I forgot to actually pre-drill all the holes on the framing. So I have to go around, mark all them out, get all the doors hung. I'll do another video down the line of how I go about making different types of face frames and how we can join them. But I'm going to get on now and get all these doors fitted. Well, the little thing I like to do is put these little plastic sort of bubble things on the top edge behind the doors. Even though they are soft close hinges, this just stops that little bit of extra rattle. Now another great tip that I find that the clients absolutely love is with the Rubio especially, you can't use like bleach cleaning products or anything like that. So what I do is I use a bit of Rubio soap, put it in a spray bottle and put my own sticker onto the bottle. That way every time the client picks up and cleans the top, you're in the forefront of their mind again. It just triggers them a little bit sometimes for future work. Another little thing I do an awful lot is if I leave these little dogs made out of scrap wood on my projects. Now I never tell the clients about these because again it's just that little thing, and they seem to rave about these little touches more than the fact of the job, because they've paid for the job, they knew how much they were paying for the job, they knew what they were expecting from the job. So that's that for this little install. I will have to come back at a later date to fix the handles because the client hasn't ordered them yet, and I'll also get some finished photos of it all decorated, and that'll be on the Instagram page. Links for that will be down below. Any questions or items you'd like to see in a future video or particular elements of the video build, please let me know. Thanks for watching.